and welcome to MIC TV. Today, we're going to be discussing growing your audience, techniques for building a die-hard fan base. I'm your host, Greg Ferriolo, with my partner, TJ Peterson.
Hello.
And if this is your first time joining us, please be sure to say hi in the chat, and I'd like to welcome you to our MIC community. Now, in the chat, let us know your name, where you're from, your genre, your music you play, anything basically you want to share with us and our community. All right, so as we've already mentioned, today we are going to be discussing growing your audience, techniques for building a die-hard fan base. Now, the one fact every artist and band can agree on is a musician's audience is the key to their success, which is why, as business coaches, we talk about it so much during our live streams and sessions and all the things that we do. In short, having a die-hard fan base that's willing to support your career equals the ability to have and sustain a full-time music career. That being said, when it comes to building an audience, the mistake that most musicians make is that they focus on the quantity of fans over the quality. Now, the question is why do they do that? And that's because people mistakenly believe that the size of a musician's audience somehow equates to their level of success. If someone has a large following, they must be a super successful musician. And if they have a small following, they're not. And in our opinion, that couldn't be further from the truth. And to make matters worse, because of the emphasis put on the importance of social media, many indie artists and bands focus the majority of their efforts on growing their online audience. Now, it's true that social media is important, and it not only has promotional value, but it can also be a valuable source of income if you manage it well. However, as business coaches, we feel it's our responsibility to advise you to use some caution when you use these sites and your commitment level towards them. Because if you don't, and you wind up neglecting a lot of your online channels like your email, you're going to find out that you're going to potentially have some serious problems with your career. Now, services like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter probably aren't going to be going away anytime soon, so the risk of them shutting down is relatively low. Nevertheless, you shouldn't fully rely on any company that has control over your line of communication with your fans, because one change in any of these services' algorithms can make it very difficult to reach and engage with your audience. And we've all seen signs of that already. We know artists that have tens of thousands, not tens of thousands, but 10,000 followers and literally get zero engagement on their live stream. And that's because, their algorithm prevents their fans from reaching you. And, the reason behind that is because these companies want you to buy advertising. So, really focus a lot of your energy on building your direct line of communication through your email list. In short, all we're really trying to say is don't put all your eggs in one basket when that basket is owned and controlled by someone else. Instead, invest most of your time and effort in building your audience from the methods and services that are 100% in your control and don't have the same obstacles that kind of come along with computer algorithms. All right, now by doing that, you're going to protect yourself and your career. And if you disagree with that, go back, in time and talk to all the musicians that had their career on MySpace. When Facebook came along and basically wiped out MySpace's audience, a lot of musicians lost their career, and you don't want to see that happen. If you take all the time to put an effort into building your audience and building a relationship with them, you want to make sure that you are in control of that. All right. Now, if you watch some of our previous shows, we talked about how hard it is also to reach your audience on social media and about how these platforms do this, again, specifically, like I just said, to force you to pay for advertising to reach your fans. And that's just not worth it. It's better to build your audience the old-fashioned way through personal relationships and build your mailing list so that you can communicate and reach your audience on a more consistent basis. Now, this approach comes with way less risk and will generate quality relationships, which now brings us to today's topic again, growing your audience, techniques for building a die-hard fan base. So we're going to dive into the presentation. All right. Now, when building your audience, it's important to understand the different methods that you can use to grow your fan base, both online and offline. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is offline growth methods. Now, when we say offline growth methods, we mean any form of communication that allows you to contact potential fans and engage with current fans without the obstacle of a computer algorithm. Simply put, it's a way to build personal relationships with your fans in mass. So instead of using a fishing pole, you're going to be casting a net. Now, when you use these type of methods, attracting and engaging your audience is directly within your control, and the likelihood of developing a superfan increases because you have more of an opportunity to form a deep personal connection with the people you meet. Now, the drawback is that it's a slower process. Simply put, you can't reach as many people offline as you can online. So when you use offline growth methods, it's about the quality of the relationships, not the quantity. And your goal when doing this is to develop your core group of superfans that will financially support your career on a professional side and to form strong bonds with other musicians and industry professionals. Now, once you successfully establish that network, you'll have a solid foundation for your career, as well as a team of dedicated people that will support your online promotional efforts, which will make the entire process of building your career much easier. Okay, so now we're going to discuss the 3 techniques for building a die-hard fan base. Now, the first techniques are referrals. Now, referrals are a great way to grow your audience because these are people that have been handpicked by your fans. Your fans already like your music and they know that it will align with the musical taste of the person whom they're referring. Now, as a result, there's a strong chance that when you get a referral, they're going to like your music and that they're going to become super fans. And why is that? It's because when you're with your group of friends and it becomes like a social thing between everyone, and when you're hanging out with your friends, if you all like the same artist, there's more of a chance of you really getting into it and making it, a social thing that you do on a regular basis. Whereas if you're just kind of into a band yourself, you might be super passionate about them, but it's not as fun as being able to share that experience with the people around you. Now, when it comes to referrals, they can be voluntary, meaning that one of your fans like you so much that they're going to naturally share your music with their friends, or a referral can be persuaded, meaning that you ask your fans to share your music with their friends and family. Now, because referrals are so effective and free, no matter what you do, you should be sure to incorporate this method when building your audience. Now, the second technique is called collaboration. Now, collaborating with other creative people like bands, filmmakers, and artists has 2 benefits. Now, the first is it's a great way to get introduced to new fans, and it's effective to build professional relationships. Now, collaboration is like a professional referral because you're partnering with someone that has influence over a large group of people. And by helping each other, you're forming strong personal relationship with one another that you can count on to support your career. Now, when collaborating, you can choose to work with a joint project together, perform a show, or simply agree to promote each other's work through your online channels. But how you collaborate is completely up to you, but the more you do it, the more fans and contacts you'll gain. And to be honest, this is one of the ones that we recommend the most because it's just the best way to go about doing things. I always say music is meant to be collaborative. So when you're building your audience, this is a great way to go about doing it. A lot of musicians, when they're going through this process, they think, hey, I need a network. I need to get out there. I need to do things. I need to meet industry professionals. Don't overlook the artist next to you because you guys have, the same amount of power. You have different fans. You can share each other and you're on each other's level. So you're going to be more willing and it's going to be more able to work together to help each other in their careers. All right. Now, finally, networking can be used to grow your audience. Now, by targeting events like meetups or joining musical or social communities, you can have the opportunity to extend your social circle. Now, this can be done by joining your church choir or signing up for your softball league. Now, networking is a technique that helps you grow your group of friends and focuses on building relationships first and then introducing them to your music second. Now, when selecting a social activity or a group to join, you want to make sure that you're actually choosing something that you like because by choosing something that you really, truly like and you're passionate about, you're going to have more of an opportunity to meet people that are more like you and that kind of fit more your personality. And that's what you want because those are the people that, again, more in line with the chance of becoming super fans of yours. Plus, an added benefit is you get to have fun. All right. Now, live shows are your best bet and opportunity to grow your fan base. So When the goal of your show is to increase the size of your audience, you need to make sure that you're playing shows that there are a large number of potential fans. Now, if you're playing a club gig where you have to supply the audience, you might pick up some fans from the people that came to see the band before or after you, but you run a higher risk of obtaining few or no fans. Instead, you want to play shows where the audience is supplied for you. Now, the first type of show that you should be playing are festivals. Festivals have big audiences, which means lots of opportunities for you to grow your audience. And if a festival focuses on a specific genre, such as blues or country, then there's a high chance for you to gain fans if you're playing that genre of music. The drawback with festivals is because of the crowd size, you aren't really going to be able to spend a lot of time talking and forming bonds with the people in the audience. However, if you are able to connect and get their email address, you'll be able to work on that after the event. Now, the next type of live show is house concerts, and they provide a great way for you to make fans in an intimate setting. Now, in a house concert, the host supplies the audience, and because the evening revolves around your performance, you're going to get the opportunity to really meet people and get to know them. Now, when you're performing a house concert, you have two growth goals. First, you want to gain new fans, and second, you want to gain new hosts. If you can come out of a house concert with 10 to 15 new fans and subscribers and maybe one host, then mission accomplished. You did a good job. And that's another one of our favorite ones is house concerts, because again, it's like you're building an intimate setting and you're building quality relationships and you get to make some money. All right. The next type of show are weekly shows, or what we call paid gigs, like at a restaurant. Now, typically you're playing mostly all covers at these types of shows, but you still do have the opportunity to show off your personality and meet some people and potentially sell some of your music. So these are another really great way to kind of get out there and put yourself in front of an audience that you haven't seen before. And finally, our street performances. Now, street performances in a crowded area can provide you with a decent audience and an opportunity to come away with some new fans. If you're putting on a street performance, you always want to make sure that you have an email sign-up list and your business cards available. And if possible, maybe even someone like a little helper to help you manage talking to the audience and maximize your collection of contacts. Okay, now when it comes to growing your audience online, the online growth methods that you'll use will vary by the service that you're working on. Now, all the social media platforms offer paid ways to advertise your account on their platform, but this comes with a financial risk. So if you decide to kind of go the paid advertising route, just be sure that you do your research and protect your budget. Also, never buy followers. Can't stress that enough. Yes, it's a quick way to bolster your numbers, but having fake followers won't help your career in any way, shape, or form, and it's a waste of money. Now, with that little piece of advice, we are going to now go over some of the online growth methods. Now, first, please note that all of the offline growth methods that we've already talked about, referrals, collaboration, and networking, can and should be used to grow your online audience. Now, this example that I'm showing you right now shows some of the basic ways for you to grow your online audience, and we're going to take a few minutes to go through each one. Now, MailChimp is essentially your newsletter sign-up service. So maybe you're not using MailChimp, maybe you're using another one, but the ways that you grow your audience for your mailing list are going to be having a sign-up form on your website, having a sign-up form on your Facebook, and any type of social media promotions where you can kind of run those. You can also obviously collect new subscribers at live shows and promote your mailing list again through your social media posts. When it comes to Facebook's, the free ways to grow your Facebook following is going to be to target your email subscribers first and let them know to follow you on Facebook. And then again, audiences at live shows. I know obviously with COVID, things have been a little difficult, but things are starting to open back up again. Even if they aren't opening up again, live stream shows are making it even easier because your social media channels can be displayed right as you're playing. Now, Facebook does have advertising, again, for as little as $5 per day, and that can be very effective to grow your online followers if you can successfully figure out who your target audience is. But doing so might cost you quite a bit of money, so just be careful. Also, something to be aware of with Facebook is you're bidding on the people that are going to be following you. So if your budget is $5 a day, you're not most likely going to get people in the United States or maybe in England or Canada. You might be getting them in other countries, Africa, the Philippines. We've just had some experience with this, so just be mindful of that. And you might see your followers shoot up to like 10,000, but like if they're not playing in your hometown or somewhere where you can actually sell to them, it's not going to be really worth your time. All right, now when it comes to Instagram and Twitter, these services kind of have similar growth methods. So like Facebook, you can target your email subscribers and your live shows to gain followers, but these services also allow you to target artists and fans by using what is called the follow for follow method. When using this method, basically what you're going to be doing is look for artists that, such as people that influence you or other indie artists that are like you, and then you're going to follow a few of their fans. If you're on Instagram, you can like their photos and things of that nature, but you don't want to do it in a spammy way. You want to be genuine. Twitter's a bit more difficult, and their rules are a bit more strict, so be mindful of that because you don't want to get your account blocked. And then every so often, hopefully, you'll get a follow back from the person. And you want to make sure every so often just kind of go back in, see who actually followed you, and then unfollow them. But for the record, TJ and I aren't really big fans of this. It's, it runs with a lot of high risk. It is kind of spammy. I don't really know how many good personal relationships that you're going to get, from that, but it's, worth kind of playing around with if you want to try that out. It's much better, in our opinion, to instead of, following the fans of the artist, just to reach out to the artist and like offer to collaborate with them on something and then share fans, just like we were talking about before. That's a much more natural way to do it. And, you can hopefully make a good connection with their audience by using that instead. All right. Now, when it comes to YouTube, again, a lot of the similar methods can be used on this service. I'm not going to go through each one of them over again. But one of the main differences that YouTube provides is that you can attract new fans by releasing cover songs from your favorite artists or by pairing your original music with visuals from pop culture brands like video game franchises. Now, this differs here because YouTube, as much as it's quote unquote a social media service, it's really a search engine. It's through Google. So the search feature is very different. So people looking for, a song on the top 40 list or by a specific person can actually lead to your cover. So you really do want to, consider making that a potential, growth method if you decide that you want to be on YouTube. Now, when it comes to a service like Patreon or any crowdfunding site that you might be using, again, you're going to follow a lot of the same methods, like targeting your email subscribers. But another way that you can do that is through, if you are on YouTube, through your YouTube cards. If you're familiar with YouTube cards, it's basically a little tiny icon that kind of pops up. You click on it during the video, and all these cards pop up. And if you have a link to your Patreon page, it might drive them, to your channel so that they can subscribe or learn more about you. And finally, we have SoundCloud. Like Patreon, you'll be able to, target your email subscribers, but services like, also have the option for a follow because it is a social media thing. So like Instagram or Twitter. But again, you really have to kind of play around, with that if SoundCloud will even be part of, your distribution method. But again, no matter what you're doing, never buy followers. It really can, it's actually more hurtful than anything else. Because again, you have, all these people on your list that just really you have a hard time reaching, and you don't even know who really is interested or who just clicked because they clicked. Thank you so much. Again, everyone, have a great day. And remember, we're always here to help you if you need it. Thanks for watching. If you're truly serious about building a professional music career, then I recommend learning how to be successful by watching our video, How DIY Musicians Become and Stay Successful. You can find the link for it in the description below. It's filled with great information, and we even give you a free gift for watching. So you really can't go wrong. Anyway, check it out today, and please don't forget to subscribe.